What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fit and Focus podcast. I am your host and your coach, Forrest the Trainer, and today's episode is going to be the Food Freedom Framework, how to lose weight without losing your mind. So there's going to be two camps when it comes to this podcast. You are either going to be a non-believer, shun the non-believer, shun, or you are going to have your mind absolutely blown. So we're going to have a couple things to go over today, but to kind of get the context of where I want everyone's thought process to be, what the foundation of that is going to be. Have you ever asked yourself or told yourself, I'm never eating pizza again. I'm never eating this again. I'm never eating or drinking this again. You've probably been in that situation, right? That's fair to say that all of us have been in that situation. We've probably been in the restroom after a rough Saturday or Friday night and been like, I'm never drinking again, just for you to be drinking again the next night or the next weekend. I'm never eating this food again, just for you to end up acting like a baby raccoon in a Sam's Club or Costco dumpster with that exact food not too far after you said that, right? So today we're going to talk about how to lose the fat that you're wanting to lose while still enjoying those foods that you want to binge and just stuff yourself with because they feed your soul more than anything else, okay? So let's get into the Food Freedom Framework. And section 1 is going to be the diet drama we are all fucking tired of, okay? So the truth that no one wants to say out loud is all of us fail diets because diets don't work. Let's just be real about it. Diets do not work because the whole concept behind a diet is you have to eat within like this food Bible that fits within the diet itself. So the paleo diet, the gluten-free diet, the Atkins diet, the carnivore, all these other diets, like they do not work. They're not sustainable because here's the deal. The way the world is, as the melting pot that it is, there is food from different cultures and different areas and different parts of this planet that are going to be outside of that little Bible that you're reading for this specific diet. You are going to end up coming across an experience that you're going to have to either exclude yourself from, or you're going to have to eat like a variation or a healthy version of the foods you actually want to eat. And that's just trash. Like, we don't want to do that. So the demographic that typically struggles with this the most is going to be parents. Like, parents will fall into the trap because, stress is going to be high. Your schedule is going to be stretched very thin, especially when your kids are not in school. Like, we have the holiday break coming up. So you are going to have your time stretched thin, and you are going to fall into the trap of picking up the fast food, picking up those nuggets, picking up those burgers, picking up the pizzas, to where you are going to be, well, since I'm already spending the money, since I'm already spending the time, kill two birds with one stone. Let me go ahead and get some for me too. It saves me time, it saves me effort, it saves me stress, it gives me peace, and I like that shit. I say it's a trap, but the reality is that does help. I have a son myself, and there is plenty of times where I just say, fuck it. We're getting the nuggets, we're getting the corn dogs, we're getting the pizza, we're getting the spaghetti. All those things. All of us parents have probably been in that situation more than once this week, and it's only Monday, or it's only Tuesday. So whenever you get into that trap, and when you finally get a moment of peace, even though you've already picked up that little snack or the nuggets or this and that, if you didn't, and you were getting into that trap, this is the trap I'm talking about, of, well, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't eat that, I'm not allowed to eat that, you will get that moment of peace towards the end of the evening whenever you're putting your kids to bed, or for anyone that doesn't have kids, your workday is finally slowed down, you're finally on that couch, you're finally able to relax, you're finally able to turn on your favorite episode of anime, then all of a sudden, boom, emotional eating cravings will hit you. The stress of the day, the stress of having kids, the stress of the job, the stress of family life, everything will hit you like a ton of bricks, and the only thing that will save your soul and heal that soul is that pizza, is those leftover nuggets from your kid, is the burgers, it's the popcorn, it's all the things, ice cream sandwiches. My mouth is watering because I love this food so much. And your body does not care. Like, let me preface this. When it comes to all these foods, you do not care because you're getting that emotional sustenance out of these foods. You're getting the, I'm finally relaxed, I'm going to go ahead and get some sustenance. I'm going to get that good feeling out of this food while I relax and enjoy my little moment of silence, moment of peace, and I'm going to enjoy the shit out of this. And then you end up feeling guilty. You end up feeling like, I shouldn't have done that because I'm not supposed to be eating this food. This is a bad food. This is unhealthy food. Blah, 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 blah. All been there, right? Your body does not give a shit whether it's good food or bad food. Your body does not recognize it as that. It recognizes it as nutrients and energy. So, yes, can nutrients determine how you feel? 1,000,000%. But the main thing is your body is taking in the food, aka calories, which is aka energy, and is only going to use it as that, energy. And when we have food that fills our hearts, like the ice cream, like the fried chickens, like the pizzas, all these things, you're going to feel good, fine. When do you feel bad about it? Mentally and in the body, but on two different situations and two different contexts. First, you're going to feel bad mentally because you're going to feel the guilt. I shouldn't have done that, because whenever you fall into that trap of the emotional eating and emotional binging, you will find yourself in the position of eating too much. You have restricted yourself so much from these foods that you will be stuffing your fucking face with it, eating the entire gallon of ice cream, eating an entire large pizza by yourself, eating a 20-piece chicken McNugget by yourself. Remember when they used to sell the 50-piece bucket? I smashed a couple of those things in my life. Like, they make things for our emotional endeavors, our emotional urges, and we fucking buy them. We fall into these traps because you're thinking, I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't do it, and it's right in front of you, so you're like, I'm gonna do it. So you just end up being 2 steps back after you took 1 step forward. So how do we fix that? I'm gonna give you 3 principles of food freedom. So this part actually will change your life. This will be where the non-believers, shun the non-believer, or the people that were mind blown, people that are mind blown, are going to reveal themselves. So number 1, portion size is everything. You got to own your portions. So you can literally eat anything. You just can't eat everything. You know, I want everyone to acknowledge that, and even put it in the comments. I can eat anything. I just can't eat everything. Everything versus anything. Anything versus everything. Put that in the comments. Let that resonate in your and vibrate in your head. 6 slices of pizza creates a different result than 2 slices with a big portion heavy salad next to it. Like, hey, if you buy Domino's, and they sell salads too, it's like, oh, well, I wanted a pizza. It's like, okay, cool. They sell small, medium, and large. They also sell salad. They also sell wings. They also sell pastas. They also sell chicken sandwiches, beef sandwiches, all these things. But you chose the pizza. Okay? Same food, different outcome. You will only need, the example I gave, 6 slices of pizza versus 2 slices of pizza with a big salad. Now, is a salad the solution? No, it's just a different option. It's a different opportunity. Number 2, when it comes to this list, prioritizing protein throughout our day. And I'm going to say this just to kind of poke some fun at somebody, but prioritize protein, and this will help you way more than you ever think it will, because protein, out of the 3 macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, protein is the most satiating of those macronutrients. I'll say that one more time because I jumbled over my words. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. What does that mean? That means it will keep you fuller for longer. And if we are chasing towards our protein goal every single day, if we need energy to go through our hard labor intensive job every day, this is where you can front load your protein. You'll get that energy. Then when you get home, you want to get this pizza, I want you to drink a protein shake or eat that chicken Caesar salad with a whole chicken breast on it, have a chicken breast on it, to where you have a whole metric fuck ton of protein in your system, to where when you get that pizza, you're able to satisfy that craving, but you will not have the room for that entire cheese, pepperoni, meat lovers, supreme pizza. You only need like that 2 slices, maybe 3 slices, and you're good. So you're doing good killing a whole rotisserie chicken in your truck. Got it. Rotisserie chickens are bomb as fuck. I can't judge you for that. Now, the only thing is, going into number 3 is going to be planning for pleasure food based on thermodynamics. So The law of thermodynamics is a law for a reason, guys. Kind of like gravity. What goes up must come down. Same thing goes with our weight, but in a different context because of calories. So calorie is a unit of measurement when it comes to heat. There is a tool or a machine called a calorimeter, and a calorimeter is literally basically a flamethrower that shoots flames at something, and it determines and measures how much heat was required to make this object disappear. And they measure that in calories. So now we know that about 1 pound of body fat is around 3,500 calories, give or take 100 calories or so. That's how much heat is required to burn off that body fat. Going into the deficit, doing the math there, it literally requires algebra. If y'all didn't know, that's what I do for you guys because I love you so much. But going back to the number 3, planning for pleasure food based on thermodynamics, if you make the food forbidden, your brain will plan a heist. Like, you will end up breaking into that bank and having a heist, and you will binge. Like, you will go into the worst thing possible because you'll end up in a bad mental space. Your stomach will end up hurting. You'll end up feeling in that food coma, and the recovery is going to be bad. Your digestion is going to be off, and you'll end up taking, instead of just 1 or 2 steps back, you'll end up taking like 5 to 10 steps back because you're going to have to recover from you have to recoup from all these decisions you just made, which was just one. But instead of doing that, schedule it, ritualize it. Whenever I was in my last bodybuilding prep, at one point I had to cut out red meat by a huge margin. I didn't have to cut it out completely, but going to the extreme level when it comes to fat loss, muscle building, hypertrophy, and the presentation of that physique, bodybuilding is not healthy. I will never say that it is, but I had to cut out red meat by a huge portion. So instead of putting a little bit here and there in every meal or every other meal, I made sure that I had a good, nice sized steak dinner every Friday night. That is you scheduling it. That is you ritualizing it. Like I said, bodybuilding isn't healthy, but the practice of scheduling and ritualizing something can be healthy and very beneficial for the goal of fat loss without you having to fully delete a food that you're going to want to end up binging later. So here's an analogy that'll help you out with this. Nutrition is like a bank account. You can spend some calories on fun, but most of it needs to be invested on nourishment. Does that make sense? Because whenever we get our paycheck in our lives, we are investing when it comes to our bills, when it comes to like our house, our car, the things that are important. That is an investment because you're getting a return on that to give you security, a house over your head, clothes, and things like that. Then when it comes to the fun stuff, going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, but going on a trip, going out to eat, going to see friends, buying a piece of merch, all those things, that's the fun stuff. And it's not going to be the main driver of why you're getting that paycheck. It's not going to be the main thing you spend your money on. It is the little bit of fun you're going to do here and there. Because if you splurge and go on a shopping spree, you're going to end up not being able to pay your bills. You're going to end up not being able to do this, not be able to go on that trip, not be able to go visit that friend. You'll end up having to take so many more steps back than you wanted to. Here is going to be the mindset that's going to change everything. So first, I'm going to give you some info about something that will blow your mind, or you'll be a non-believer. So like I was bringing up earlier, there was a study conducted at Stanford, Harvard, and there was another university that did it. But they got a control group of 2 sets of people. So 2 control groups. One group was training and exercising, and they were eating in a caloric surplus, and they were only eating chicken breast, brown rice during that study, and broccoli. So chicken, broccoli, and brown rice. Then the other control group of 100 people, they were eating everything that you could think that would be the worst foods of your life. It would be the bonbons, the honey buns, the Didas and Weedoos and Oreos and this and that, Krispy Kremes, Twinkies, snowballs, and like they were eating every bit of junk food you could think of, but they were eating in a calorie deficit. After 90 days, they kept all the information from every single day. Remember, one group was training, they were eating a calorie surplus. The other group was not training, eating in a calorie deficit. The group that lost body fat was the group that did not train and ate only junk food. The group that trained and ate in a calorie surplus, they gained weight. Now you can believe me, you can look it up, or you can not believe me. But the truth, like, it's in the pudding. If you're eating in a caloric surplus, you're going to gain weight. If you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. Now, when it comes to weight, I'm not talking about muscle or fat, I'm talking about weight. When it comes to weight and weight alone, surplus equals gain, deficit equals loss. Now, when it comes to how we feel, it's going to be, when it comes to how we look, when it comes to the muscle, body fat, and things like that, that is going to be determined by our macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. Are we achieving muscle protein synthesis? Are we upping our metabolism through non-exercise activity thermogenesis, aka NEAT? Are we having enough fats in our diet, dietary fats, to help us lubricate our joints and feel better and things like that when it comes to our body composition? Then how we feel cognitively, emotionally, how our skin will recover and things like that, that is going to be from the micronutrients, being vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B12, vitamin A, and like all the vitamins and minerals. That is going to be your micronutrients, and that is going to determine how you feel. So yeah, you could be dumping chicken breast and broccoli down your pipe all the time. You're going to get your fiber, you're going to be lacking on carbohydrates, which is your body's most preferred source of energy, and you're going to be having your protein, which is the most satiating, most beneficial macronutrient, but you could be missing out on the nutrients that help your gut health. What if you have hypothyroidism, to where you need less carbs, a little bit more fiber, and you need to be able to help your digestion because a lot of foods are inflammatory? These are all things that none of y'all typically think about on a day-to-day basis, and this is something I do have to think about to make sure y'all have the best value of life going through this journey. So going into that section 3, you can think about that all you want. Calorie surplus, you're going to gain weight. Calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight, regardless of what you eat. So take that information and take it back to the first 2 points we made when it comes to locking ourselves in a cage with our food, or letting ourselves explore it and enjoy the foods we actually want to enjoy, prioritizing it, scheduling it, ritualizing it, and having some fun with it. Take your kids out for ice cream once a week, and then know that you're still within your calories, still going to make progress towards your goals. Okay, so last section, let's talk language. I want everyone to stop saying, I was bad. I cheated on my diet. I was such a bad person. I did so bad with food this weekend. I need you to quit that shit right now. You didn't rob a bank. You ate a fucking cookie, Karen. Like, do not beat yourself up about this. When you attach guilt to food, you build shame, and shame creates sneak eating. And I will be the first to admit I am guilty of this. I am guilty as fuck of this. In my second bodybuilding prep ever, I had a coach that was definitely not the coach for me. And I ended up lying to this coach because I was eating spoonfuls of peanut butter in the middle of the night because I was dying from how low my calorie deficit was and the lack of water, so I was dying, and I was eating like these big old dollops of peanut butter just straight out the jar right in front of my pantry 2-3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. It was rough. So, and I felt guilty. I would lie about it, so I would end up sneaking this peanut butter in. So again, when you attach the guilt to food, you end up building the shame. So typically this only happens once in a blue moon. This is not a every night thing where people want to binge the entire gallon of ice cream. If you were doing this every night, you would be having to buy 30 gallons of ice cream a month on average. So don't think everyone has the money for that. Don't think anyone has the stomach for that. So let's just assume that we're doing it once in a blue moon. But your progress isn't going to be ruined by one fucking meal. Like I said, you didn't rob a bank. You ate a fucking cookie, Karen. Like, enjoy the foods you love. Make sure you're hitting your priorities first. Like, you're not going to go buy a plane ticket to a different state whenever you have responsibilities like your bills. Remember, like I said, your nutrition is like your bank account. You're going to take care of the important stuff first. That's a necessity. So get the protein, carbs, and fats in. Focus on your protein, especially your protein, Andrew. And when you do that, you'll be fuller for longer. You won't need to eat so much of the food you love. You'll be able to satiate that feeling. You'll be able to satisfy that craving, and you'll be able to be on point with your macros and calories and still make strides towards your goals in the positive way and be like, bitch, I lost 2 pounds this week and I had pizza and I had ice cream and I had Oreos and I had a brownie. Like, fuck you mean? Like, that's the exact life I want you to live. So a strong choice isn't always the perfect choice, because I had pizza this week. I had a breakfast quesadilla. I had Doritos Cool Ranch. They're better than nacho cheese. You can fight me on that. But sometimes the strong choice is allowing yourself dessert with your kids, enjoying the sweet treat when you're watching that really emotional show, whether it be an anime, movie, sitcom, whatever. But moving to the closing point of this is to tell everyone, quit thinking foods are the devil, like the mom from Waterboy would say. It's the actions and habits around foods that are the devil. So don't allow yourself to be corrupted into what society has tried to teach you, what social media has tried to teach you, because there is no such thing as bad food. There's only bad habits. So I want you to think, whenever I do eat ice cream, am I only eating a little bit, or do I typically want to smash the entire pint or half gallon? Whenever it comes to pizza, am I typically eating the entire large pizza, or am I ordering a small pizza because that's all I really wanted? I just wanted a little bit of sauce and cheese. Have you even tried to get those frozen garlic bread pieces from H-E-B or Walmart? Put a little bit of marinara on top, fat-free mozzarella on there, put that bitch in the air fryer and eat that. You will probably satisfy your craving with that, but I can understand, like, I'm a Domino's whore, so eat that Domino's, you will enjoy yourself. But if I had eaten my protein all day and making sure I'm getting to my protein goals, make sure I had an extra 400 calories, 600 calories, be able to have a couple slices of pizza while I'm watching Attack on Titan, that's a win. And I had a low weigh-in today when we ate pizza and a breakfast quesadilla. So if you don't believe me, the proof is in my pudding from my scale right there. Like, I'm not flicking y'all off, but it's just what it is. You are not a freaking toddler. You don't need food rules. Like, you just need a framework when it comes to what we want to achieve, when it comes to our body composition, when it comes to our weight, when it comes to what we want to see in the mirror. So here's what I want you to take away with you today. You can lose fat, you can build the confidence, you can enjoy all the foods you love without the guilt associated with it, because you've been conditioned to think that way. Remember when they used to show it that food pyramid? Yeah, they didn't tell y'all that like 10 years ago they threw that out because it was wrong. So you can do it without treating nutrition like a punishment too. You are not becoming a smaller version of yourself. You're becoming a stronger one whenever you start prioritizing the nutrition. So with that being said, I want y'all to screenshot this, post it on your stories, and put your biggest takeaway from this podcast. Post it on your stories, tag me, and put your biggest takeaway in your story, and I will repost it onto my stories. But I hope y'all enjoyed the Food Freedom Framework, how to lose weight without losing your mind. I will see you next week on our next episode. There is going to be new things coming, because we're going to have a podcast with 4 people coming up in November, and we're going to do a giveaway. So stay tuned for that. But see you next week on the next episode of the Fit and Focus podcast. I am Forrest the Trainer, and I will see you next time. Deuces.